we are going to discuss the reductions of 360 degrees minus theta. And remember, reductions is to rewrite any trig ratio as a trig ratio with an acute angle. So when we think of 360 degrees minus theta, we are placing ourselves in the fourth quadrant. Imagine that we went around a full 360 degrees and backwards by theta to find this angle. That means that this angle would be represented by 360 degrees minus theta. And if I complete a right angled triangle in the fourth quadrant, I'll have my hypotenuse as r, which is representing a radius. The adjacent side would be a positive x because I'm on the positive side of the x-axis. And the opposite side would be a negative y because I'm going downwards from the x-axis or to negative values of y. So if I use this triangle, I can find the sine of 360 degrees minus theta, which is the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. And that produces a ratio of negative y over r. And for the cosine of 360 degrees minus theta, I have the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So that ratio would be x over r. And the tangent of 360 degrees minus theta would be the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. And that is negative y over x. So if I compare these three ratios with that of trig ratios in the first quadrant, I see that sine of 360 degrees minus theta produces a very similar ratio to that of sine theta in the first quadrant. The only difference is here we have negative y over r, and here the ratio is positive. So sine of 360 minus theta produces an equal ratio to negative sine of theta, where theta now represents an angle in the first quadrant. Next, we see that the cosine of 360 minus theta produces the exact same ratio as the cosine of theta. So cos of 360 minus theta is equal to cos of theta. And lastly, the tan of 360 minus theta produces a similar ratio to that of tan theta. The only difference is that this ratio is negative. So tan of 360 minus theta is equal to the negative of the tan of theta. And an easy way to remember these ratios is that 360 degrees minus theta places us in the fourth quadrant, and only cosine is positive in the fourth quadrant. So we can see that cos of 360 minus theta is the only ratio that produced a positive cos of theta. Sine and the tangent of 360 minus theta both produced negative values in the fourth quadrant.